Hello, friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me fix my camera a little bit. I'm a little crooked here. Hello there. Let's get a little not crooked. There we go. That's a little better. Maybe not. Everybody still there? My goodness. Sit tight. We're coming. You went on a little ride there. You went on a little adventure. Hi, Jonathan. Hello. Oh my goodness, that was probably a little bit like going on a roller coaster where it felt like you were flipping all over. But now we're all set up. Hello, hello, friends. Welcome back. Let me go ahead and get our chat up here so that I can see everybody. Hear any of it, well, read any of the wonderful things you might be saying. It's so nice to be back. Happy summertime. I think for most of us, we're out of school now and we're into summertime. It's probably pretty warm where you are. It's very warm where I am, and we're getting a bit of a thunderstorm right now. So let's hope that that thunderstorm's not going to derail our activity for today. But you know what? If it does, that's okay. That's all right. So we just got everybody coming in here. I'm going to hop into our comments and put up, we have a couple extra, we have a couple little things today that if you go ahead and if you want to print out, we made some pretty bingo cards and an herbs and spices journal. But if you do not have these things handy or you can't print, do not worry. We're going to make them on our own as well. This way, if you just wanted to print some out, or if you want to be able to do this again, the same activity some other time with maybe some other friends or someone else in your family, you can find these all on our Facebook page. So if you would like to print these out for your own, go right ahead and you can do it that way. Otherwise, we're going to make some hello from Peru. Hello, Peru. That's pretty impressive. Hello down there. You are south of me, and I'm complaining about how warm it is here. I bet I shouldn't be complaining compared to what it is like down there. But it's very beautiful and very warm. So today, friends, we are celebrating National Herbs and Spices Day. Today is National Herbs and Spices Day, which is a really cool way to celebrate all of these amazing plants that have been growing forever. Really, we have stories about humans from the first time that we started documenting humans. We know that even 6 million years ago, early man was working, and woman, early man and woman were working and finding plants to use to make their food taste better, to use as medicinal uses. That sounds like the word medicine, doesn't it? That's right, because herbs and spices can also be really helpful in healing some sicknesses and some injuries. So we're going to talk a little bit about the history of herbs and spices today, and we're going to go on a little kitchen adventure where we're going to see whatever we have on hand and make some observations about what we're gathering from these herbs and spices. So as you can see here, I have a bunch of little jars of herbs and spices, and I bet you do too in your house. So we can use these if you're in your kitchen, and we're going to go ahead and just go looking for some and learn a little bit about them. You also might be lucky enough to have some fresh herbs and spices. I have some wonderful neighbors, Kat and Ashley, who helped me out by sharing some of their fresh herbs that we're going to talk about today. Ground or whole leaf, totally fine. Fresh herbs or in the jars, totally great for what we're doing. Either one will work for our purposes. So we are going to start by playing a little herbs and spices bingo. So like I said, we made some cards that have a bunch of different herbs and spices on them. There's a couple different ones that are available on the Miss Cassidy Facebook page. We've got all different ones that have a bunch of different herbs and spices. So you can use one of these, or you can grab yourself a blank piece of paper. Grab yourself a blank piece of paper. There we go. Grab yourself a blank piece of paper and any writing utensil you like. We all know how much Miss Cassidy loves her markers. And we are going to start by making 2 lines down our paper. So you're going to make it so there's 3 columns by putting 2 lines. If you want to look at what I do, I've got 2 lines in the middle of my page. So if you're making your own, go ahead and draw those 2 lines. Then we're going to add 2 lines going across so that we're making making a nice little square space there to look a lot like these pre-made bingo cards. But you can make them on your own just that easily, right? So fast. And you can write your name on top if you want. You can say Miss Cassidy's bingo or whoever's making these. So that's gonna be backwards for you, I think, when you see it, but that's okay. You believe me, that says Miss Cassidy's bingo. And then in the middle of our bingo card, we always have a free spot. So I'm gonna just put a nice big heart in the middle because we know that's the free spot. Now to make our bingo card, before we start looking for any herbs and spices, let's brainstorm. Can you think of any herbs and spices that you already know? Can you think of any? Maybe there's something you sprinkle on your food to make it taste better. Maybe it is something that smells really good in your house because herbs and spices oftentimes have really strong smells. Can you think of any herbs and spices? Like, what do you put in apple pie or in your oatmeal or in, you can even put it, you can put it in hot chocolate as well. I'm thinking of a certain spice that you could put in oatmeal, apple pie, even hot chocolate. I'm thinking about cinnamon. Cinnamon is one of my favorite spices. And what's interesting about cinnamon is cinnamon looks like this before it's ground up. You see those long, almost stick-like herbs. That is cinnamon, but you probably have it ground up in a jar as well. So you can write cinnamon on one of your blocks if you'd like. What other herbs and spices can we think of? Let's see, what kind of herbs and spices do we find in pizza sauce? We've made pizza sauce together here before, right? Do you remember what herbs and spices we might have put in pizza sauce? Some Italian herbs and spices. What are some things that we put in a lot of Italian food? I have some of it right here. You might even recognize it if you're familiar. We have basil would be a good option. And then you're gonna go ahead and you can just keep on filling in your bingo card with any herbs and spices you can think of. There's peppermint, there's cilantro, there's cayenne pepper, there's chili powder, there's lemon balm, there's black pepper, there's mint, there's thyme, there's rosemary, there's sage. There's so many, and I bet if you start thinking, you're gonna realize you know more herbs and spices than maybe you realized you did. And once you've got a bingo card all filled out, we can take an adventure going through our kitchen and seeing which ones we can find. So I'm gonna use one of my pre-made bingo cards, but you go ahead and you keep filling out yours if you're making one at home. Or you can play along with me if you'd like. This bingo card has cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, cilantro, paprika, sage, basil, and vanilla. Those are all of the herbs and spices on this particular bingo card. So if you want to fill those in, I'm going to say them again just so that we can get them good on our card if you want to follow along with this one. We have cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, cilantro, paprika, sage, basil, and vanilla. And if you have a grown-up or an older sibling or someone helping you out, they can certainly help write these things out for you, or you can go ahead and you can try to write them out yourself. Challenge yourself and see how well it goes. All right, let's see on my bingo card. Well, we know we have cinnamon. Ooh, so I have some ground cinnamon here. I don't have any actual cinnamon sticks, but if you have some cinnamon, go ahead and open it up. And don't get your nose too close because we don't want to breathe it in. That'll make us sneeze. But see if you can get your nose close enough that you can smell cinnamon. Ooh. I love the smell of cinnamon. It's one of my favorite things. It's one of my absolute favorite spices. I put it in so many things. I love, love, love cinnamon. So what do you think you smell? What does cinnamon make you think of? Apple pie for me, for sure. Christmas. I always think of kind of Christmas and holiday cookies with cinnamon. Can you think of anything else that you like to put cinnamon in? Ooh, it smells pretty good. So I'm gonna mark cinnamon off of my bingo card because I have cinnamon. Now let's see. Let's see. Next up, let me see if I have, I'm gonna try to make this top row across. Let's see. Nutmeg and cinnamon are kind of similar. I have my spice jars, or my spice drawers filled here that I love to use because as we know, Miss Cassidy loves to bake and cook. Thank you for complimenting the kitchen. I spend a lot of time in here. That's why it's so nice, because I've made it really nice because I spend a lot of time in here. So and I've got some ground nutmeg, but to give you an idea, that's what whole nutmeg looks like. See how they're larger chunks? Then eventually they're ground up into make a ground nutmeg. You can also use the whole nutmeg part and then take it and you can scrape it to make your own ground nutmeg. If you have nutmeg, see if you can find nutmeg in your spice drawers or your spice shelf, wherever your family might keep their spices. See if you have some nutmeg and let's open it up. Give it a nice little smell. Nutmeg and cinnamon, this is another fun thing you can do. Like I said, those are good buddy spices. I use a lot of nutmeg and cinnamon together. So if you still have your cinnamon out, you can take the two. Smell them together. See what kind of smells you get from each. Cinnamon smells a little bit spicy, which is interesting because sometimes when I think about spice, I think about jalapeno peppers or cayenne peppers. I think of that kind of spice. You don't always necessarily think of the cinnamon as being a spicy flavor, but it's kind of a warm spice, huh? Yeah. What do you think? Do you think cinnamon and nutmeg smell more like they are sweet or more like they're spicy? Maybe a little bit of both. You can have sweet and spicy. So I have nutmeg, I have cinnamon. The last one on my top row of my bingo sheet here is ginger. Let me see if I have some ginger. I not only have some ginger, I have two different kinds of ginger. So a lot of times herbs and spices can be made into different styles. So just like we talked about, these are fresh herbs. You see how these are the fresh green leaves? This is basil right here. I also have, there it is, ground basil. I'm gonna get up real close so you can see. Look at these beautiful green leaves here. There's a lot of green leaves going on, but that one right there is some basil. Now look in here. Look at all of those. There's a bit of a reflection happening from the light, but if you look at that, that looks a whole lot different than that leaf basil. Well, there's not just ground versions. You can have ginger, which is a root that looks like this, the whole form, like on our sheet here. Or you can have it ground into a powder, or you can have it crystallized. Can you see that in there? Crystallized ginger is really interesting because it's taking chunks of that ginger, and instead of grinding it down, let me see if I can, there we go. They make them into these little tiny pieces right here. So instead of being ground all the way down into a powder, they can be made into different substances. And a lot of herbs and spices can be done that way. You can make things into a paste. You can make it into a powder. You can make it into any number of things. So with that ginger, I have completed the top row of my bingo card. Bingo! Oh yeah. Now, we smelled our nutmeg and our cinnamon. If you have some ginger, go ahead and give that one a spice. Ginger definitely has a little bit of that spiciness to it. Ginger is another really good medicinal herb. Remember we talked about herbs and spices are used to make our food taste good, but they also can be really good for your health. Ginger is good for helping with colds and stomach issues. That's why a lot of times if you have a bellyache, you might drink some ginger ale because it can help to calm down your stomach. And yes, ginger ale is in fact the same kind of ginger we're talking about today here. So that's an example of how we can play some herbs and spices bingo. And you can play this game as many times as you want, as many herbs and spices as you can come up with, and that's half the fun. You can keep filling up a new bingo card, whether you use Miss Cassidy's, the ones that I made, or if you make your own like we did at the beginning, where we just drew some lines to make our own grid, and that means you can do it as many times as you want. You could even have someone in your family, you could make a bingo card and then have your sibling make a bingo card, or one of your grown-ups make a bingo card. And then you shuffle them all around and you can all play a little herbs and spice bingo in your kitchen together and see whose card ends up coming up with the most herbs and spices that you have in your own home. So like I said, herbs and spices have been around for as long as humans have been around. We've been using herbs and spices. We use them for medicinal purposes like we talked about. They also help to mask unpleasant smells. Like if something is stinky, you can cover it in some good smelling herbs and spices. That's why so many of if you use like air fresheners or anything like that at home, a lot of times they smell like things like lavender. And I happen to have, courtesy of my neighbors, some fresh lavender right here. So you see how they have these beautiful purple flowers. There we go, some beautiful purple flowers, and then some little tiny pieces. And if you are lucky enough to ever have some fresh lavender around, oh, I love the smell of lavender. It's one of my favorite smells. Lavender is really good for calming. Lavender is a great thing. Like if you are somebody that you have a hard time going to sleep at night, either because you're really excited or maybe you have some nightmares sometimes. That's okay. Miss Cassidy gets nightmares too. Everybody gets nightmares. Lavender is a really good smell to put in your bedroom, whether it's getting some fresh lavender and putting it in a jar in your room, or there are a lot of really nice lavender sprays. That's a good thing that can help calm you down and help you feel nice and relaxed before you go to bed. You could also use herbs like, where'd it go? I have another one here. Where'd it go? Mint is another one. There we go. Mint leaves. Mint, like what's in your toothpaste. Guess what? It starts out, woo, excuse me. I'm smelling so many good smelling herbs that it's making me get some sneezes. Mint, like what goes in your toothpaste, is also a really delicious herb that we can use in cooking and in drinks and for medicinal purposes as well. Oh, I feel another sneeze coming. Hold on, it's coming. Achoo! Oh my goodness, excuse me. I have a lot of allergies, friends, and while I love all of these beautiful green herbs and spices, they also clearly get my allergies going as well. Mint can be used as tea and other beverages. It can be a fragrance. It can be a natural remedy, again, using it for medical uses to help calm your belly, or if you're feeling nauseous, if you're feeling like, like you might have some situations going on. Mint can be really helpful for calming your stomach that way. And you can have fresh mint like this, which smells so good. I'm gonna sneeze again, but it smells so, so good. Also throughout history, sometimes like in ancient Egypt, they would use wooden figures of garlic cloves. So garlic, which I bet a lot of us have had in our food, garlic is an herb and a spice. Garlic, they would have a wooden garlic clove, not a real one, but they would bury it with their dead so that way they would have a very flavorful afterlife, which I kind of love. That's a great idea. That way they got to enjoy some good food. That's important, right? And in medieval times, people even used black pepper as money, like the pepper that you might put on your eggs or on your French fries or anything like that. They would use it as money because there was a coin shortage. So they would use whole black pepper kernels, which, if you are somebody that you like to get your pepper, or your family gets your pepper, see all those? Those are black peppercorns. So each of those peppercorn could count as a piece of money in medieval times to help pay for things. And spices and herbs have been used for trading for thousands and thousands, even millions of years. Now our other activity for today is we have an herbs and spices journal. And again, this is something that Miss Cassidy made, and you can go on our Facebook page and print it out for yourself, or you can make one on your own with the help of some grown-ups. So all you need to do if you're gonna make your own is we're gonna make 2 little squares to the side of our page. So leave a little bit blank and then make 2 little squares over here. I'm gonna use green because green is a good color for herbs and spices. I mean, look at how many of these things are green. And then we're gonna go ahead and we can, with the help of our grown-ups or with the help of a sibling around, pick any herb and spice you might have in front of you. What do you have in front of you? Pick one that you like. I'm gonna go with some basil because I love basil and I have this really nice fresh basil leaves in front of me. So I'm gonna smell it. Oh, it smells good. Take a nice big breath and smell whichever herb or spice you're playing with right now. Sometimes if you have a fresh leaf, you can rub your fingers on a little bit to help it kind of bring out those smells. Oh my goodness. Basil is a very aromatic herb. Aromatic, that's a big word. What does it mean, Miss Cassidy? Aromatic means it smells a whole lot. And most of the time, a good smell. But I guess bad things can be aromatic too. When I think of aromatic, I think it smells good. And it has a little bit of a spicy flavor, but not a strong spicy flavor. If you have a fresh herb, you can even take a little bite of it if you'd like. There's a little bit of a spice, but just like cinnamon, I think this is even less spicy than cinnamon. It's kind of a warm, spicy flavor. So here's what I'm gonna do. While I'm learning about this basil, using my senses, smelling it, tasting it, looking at it, I'm gonna draw a picture of my basil leaf. So let me see here. Well, minus the part, I guess I can leave that on, the part I ripped off to eat. I'm gonna draw myself a little basil leaf here, including the little part that I ripped off. And so here, this is on the one that I made on my own with my little squares, but I made myself this fancy little herbs and spices journal. I'm gonna use it. So I drew myself a little picture of my basil right there, including the little chunk that I ripped off to eat. And then we have a section with name next to it. So you can write basil or get a grown-up or someone else to help you write out the word basil. Basil is spelled with a B. What letter does that sound? B. Basil with a B. And then for our notes, and this is where we want to think about all that nice stuff we were talking about, that it's very aromatic. It smells nice is what I'm going to write. Smells nice. Tastes, I'm going to take another bite. Tastes warm. I feel like it makes my mouth not like temperature warm, but you know, like warm, like when something feels good, like that kind of warm and fuzzy. That's what basil is for me. It feels very warm. So I'm going to put warm. And some things that I think basil would be good in. If you've ever had pesto, I love pesto. Pesto is a bunch of basil and a bunch of pine nuts. So basil is a good thing to put in pesto. You could write other things that you think would be good in. What else do you think basil would be good in? I think pizza sauce, or spaghetti sauce. Really any kind of pasta sauce I think you could do well with basil. Super yummy. Super, super yummy. And with our herbs and spices journal, you can do this with fresh ones that you have. You can do this with any of your ground spices. Do the same thing. Give it a smell. See what you think. Give it a taste if you're feeling bold. Now, something to remember with these ground spices, you might want to put them on something. So maybe you can talk to your grown-up about what you think this might taste good with. And if you want to try a taste of nutmeg, maybe you slice up a piece of apple and you sprinkle a little nutmeg on it to taste it and see what it tastes like together. Or if you like spicy things, you have a little cayenne pepper. Maybe you want to sprinkle that on a vegetable or something else to see if you can get that little bit of the flavor profile and see what you think. See if it tastes good and what other things you think you might be able to put it in. Because as a cook, when you're cooking something, you get to explore with all of these ingredients. You don't have to just have big pieces of meat or vegetables or fruit. you can add a whole bunch of flavor by just adding a little bit of certain spices and combining them all together. So using your herbs and spices journal that you can either print off of the Miss Cassidy page or make your own, start keeping a little bit of a log. Maybe you don't like some of them, and guess what, friends? That's a-okay. We all like different things, but it's always smart to give something a try. Don't just assume you're not gonna like it, because you don't know. You gotta learn first, right? You gotta learn by being willing to give it a little bit of a taste, a little bit of a try. So maybe you don't think you'll like basil, but if you have some fresh basil, take a little bite. It can't hurt. Now let's see. In a couple minutes we have left together, let's talk about a couple of these other delicious, delicious herbs and spices I have. I have some thyme. Some thyme, ha ha ha, Miss Cassidy. No, not thyme like on the clock. Thyme like an herb, which again, we have the leafy version right here. And then we also have a ground version, which clearly Miss Cassidy uses a lot of time in her cooking because I don't have a lot left in there. Oh, thank you. I know this is the challenge of wearing my glasses. I do appreciate you looking out for me though. It is a thing with our light. You get a little reflection in there, but the alternative is I can't see when I do this. It is something we're always working on though. This is part of the joys of being an at-home studio, making it all on my own. Now, I wonder if you knew that catnip is an herb. Yeah, like catnip, what we give to our kitties that sometimes make them go a little bit wild. This whole stalk right here is catnip. So I thought for the last little part of our activity together, I'm gonna see if Stella, my other kitty cat that we've met once or twice, might come in and want to smell some catnip. What do you think? Do you think she's gonna smell it? What do you think is gonna happen? Do you think she's gonna go wild? Oh my goodness, I don't know. I'm gonna smell it first. What's interesting, friends, is it doesn't smell particularly strong to me. It doesn't have a really strong flavor like or a smell like our basil or our lavender or cilantro or cinnamon, any of the other stuff. This catnip's pretty tame, but let me see. Stella! Stella, baby, here's what we're gonna do to get her over here with the catnip. We're gonna shake some treats. Here she comes. Good girl, Stella. All right, let's see here. Come on over here, Stella. All right, we're gonna turn the camera. Hi there. Gonna take the camera down. Boop, 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 boop. Here we go. Come here, Bean. Come here. Give her some treats to get her going. Can we see her? No. We're just gonna do it this way. We're gonna come off the tripod and we're gonna go live. So, we gave Stella a little bit of treats. There's Stella getting her treats. Stella Bean, you want to smell some catnip? Oh my goodness, friends. Look at that. She wants the treats. She's not so interested in the catnip. Let's see here. Hi, Stella. Oh, now we're interested. Now we're rubbing up all against it, huh? Oh, she's getting so nuzzly. There you go. Oh, yeah, that's the good stuff, huh? That's the good stuff. So this is pretty fun, friends. I'm having a good time with... Oh, it's okay, Bean. Come here. Let's see. Okay, what's up? She is so excited. I can't even get her to focus. So, there you go. Catnip growing in my neighbor's garden. Hold on. Now you got to see how cute she's being. Yeah. What'd you get? Oh, was that good stuff? Did that smell so good? So as you can see, friends, it's not just us humans who can love herbs and spices and benefit from them, even our animal friends. Now, we have to make sure, friends, we gotta always be careful whenever we're finding anything like this outside. You don't wanna just give your cat random plant that looks like catnip, right? Make sure you're working with a grown-up to make sure that the stuff you're getting is good for them and that they're not going to eat it all, that you're going to keep it so that they have a little bit to enjoy, but then you take it back. Just like we have to be aware, we can't just eat random things we find. If you go into a garden, make sure you know what is in that garden and what you're tasting. And you know what? Maybe if you go to a garden, you take your herb and spice journal and you draw some pictures of some of the herbs and spices you find. And you, oh, did you find more? She found some more on the floor. And maybe you can go ahead and you can start tracking what herbs and spices you like to use and your family likes to use. All right, get you back on there. There we go, friends. All right, everybody. Great job, friends. So I hope you had a good time going on a little kitchen adventure. I'd love to hear what herbs and spices you discovered today and which ones you think you like. As always, if you did our activity and you want to share some pictures or some videos, I love seeing it. It makes my heart so happy. Feel free to share those on our page at Miss Cassidy Creates, or go ahead and tag us when you share it. Either one works for us. Next week, we will be back, same time on Thursdays, and we're going to be doing a cactus-inspired craft. We're going to learn about the plant cactus, and we're going to make a little craft. So I'll be posting some more about that. The event is up and ready to go, so if you go look for it, you'll find all the info about what you need, and I'll also be posting some more as we get closer to it. All right, friends, I hope you had a good time today. What's up, Stella? She's not going to leave me alone now. She's too excited and she knows that I've got the good stuff. The stuff that she wants, huh? Here, we'll give her another treat because she was such a good sport. She was so good playing with us. There you go. All right, friends, I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope I see you again next time. And you keep on being yourself and keep on smiling. I'll see you soon. Bye. Oh, excuse me, Stella. Bye, friends. Bye.